Hey y'all, it's your queen J Lotus coming through right quick, right fast with May's major life lessons for Leo. Gang, gang, ah! Yes, for those of you that don't know, this here is my crew, honey, as a Leo, Sun, Rising, and Lilith. So, child, if you's a Sun, Moon, Rising, Lilith, Mars, or Venus, Leo. Welcome to the crew, even though you know, us Leos that's in the sun category, we come from the sun, are of the sun, we bring the sun, okay? The world revolves around us. Emphasis on sun. Okay, enough of my foolishness. No tea, no shade. I just had to pop my shit, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a Leo read. And that's what we do. We pops our shit. So if you come across a Leo that ain't popping they shit and talking shit and slapping their dick on the table at all times, okay? Dick on the table at all times. Then that Leo need a little bit of assistance. They need a little boost. Now, don't get me wrong. All for real. I know a lot of us Leos as a collective, even those that, are the moons, risings, Lilith, Venus, Mars, Leos. We've been getting a lot of life lessons in general and personal lessons in general about balancing our arrogance and learning true definitions of confidence and more divine and high vibrational, productive manners of displaying our confidence and displaying our big pussy energy. And this reading has a lot of big pussy energy. And so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the specificities of these cards. So I did us a little special, you know what I'm saying? Because this my crew, you know what I'm saying? This my crew. Y'all are me, I am you. In many ways like this here, okay? So I decided to give our crew a Earth Warrior card. Well, not give it, but pull it, okay? The Divine Realm gave it, but I pulled it, okay? But we're gonna read off that card last. So that will be the card that is dead off in the center. But I'm bringing it to your attention so that you can, just gaze at it and let your mind flow with it. Maybe take a screenshot of it. Keep it with you. You know what I'm saying? And keep it in mind. Keep it in your heart as we go through the rest of the cards, okay? Okay. So, we're going to start off with... I'm going to start from the right. The Nine of Wands. So while this is a Nine of Wands and it's giving Nine of Wands, it's also giving some Eight of Swords energy, whereas some of us are dwelling in some old heartbreak or some form of heartbreak or betrayal or seemingly betrayal or like paranoia and stuff that could have happened somewhat recently, but it's just spirit is coming through to say that it's time to let that go. Your feelings are valid, but you're letting that get in the way and cloud one, your strong suit of your solar plexus and your sacral chakra, and you are letting it hold you back. You're letting it like get you down, and it's having you function and move about things timidly, holding back, and that is not like Leo. What I just say, if you come across a Leo that is not popping their shit or timidly popping their shit, something is terribly wrong. So we got to figure out the specificities of what is going on there, okay? For some of us, this is concerning romantic relationships. For some, it's past romantic relationships. For others, it's a current romantic relationship that you are either having doubts about. For some of you, you've been having doubts and paranoia. It's like the Solange song, "The closer I get to you, the more fearful I become." For some of you, it's giving that, where you are falling for somebody and you're really feeling them and things have really been going great, and it's kind of making you, or has been making you, paranoid. Like, oh my gosh, like you're feeling like you out of control of what's going on. And Spirit is saying, just remember to choose you. And this does not mean isolate yourself or pull back in the relationship. It actually means the opposite. It means give what you feel that impulse to give in the relationship. If you feel love, if you feel passion, go all out, go full throttle. But just remember, if it boils down to a crossroads of confusion or whatever, what have you, moments of discomfort, remember to choose you in the way where you just check in with yourself and be honest about that. Leos tend to feel like explaining things as far as like what you're doing and what you got going on, especially internally, is redundant. Not because you feel like people don't want to hear it, you just feel like some things are meant for yourself, or there's no purpose to explain it to someone else because what it got to do with them or whatever. But it's just an overall thing of Leos needing to work on their frequency of friendship. Like, Spirit is saying that the relationship elements, the romance elements, are in pretty good shape, but the friendship elements are a bit stunted, out of whack, wounded. And for those of you that are having healthy, blissful, happy relationship happenings going on, you may feel a bit uneasy and unstable with it because the friendship frequency is a bit off. And this could also be stemming from friendship betrayal. Some of us are dealing with paranoia in our romantic relationships because of friendship betrayals. Ain't that something? For others of you, you may actually be going through turmoil, like actual turmoil in a relationship, and or going through the separation, going through the breakup of a relationship. And this could be a friendship and or a romantic or sexual, all of the above relationship. And the message that's coming through and the clarity that's coming through for this is, one, it also has to do with the friendship frequency being off. For some of you, this is because for some reason, maybe the examples that were led to you in childhood, it may have something to do with your sense of self-value being off, so you're on a codependent frequency or whatever. But for some of you, the reason why you keep repeating cycles in different relationships or can't seem to maintain friendships or relationships, like even if it's people that you've been friends with since childhood, right? But either you always do something to fuck it up, or the other person always doesn't seem to come through, or you have a little bit of both. Like for some of your friends, they always come through to you, but you don't seem to be able to reciprocate it. Like it's always something going on that gets in the way of you reciprocating it, or you allow it to get in the way of you reciprocating that energy. And or you have friends that don't come through when you need it. They're around for the good time, but they don't come through when you actually need it. This is stemming from the friendship frequency being off. And for some of you, it's because somehow, for some of you, I'm saying that it's a bad example, having been led by the village that you come from. So you saw your guardian or your parent or whatever, what have you, put all of their energy into their marriage or into their romantic relationships. Or for instance, some people come from a single parent household, and that parent that was your primary caretaker, they constantly had different boyfriends, girlfriends, both going in and out constantly. And maybe you experienced, your parent seemingly putting their romantic relationships first all the time. Or like, even if you were right, like for instance, if you come from a 2-parent household one way or another, say for instance, your mother always took the side of your daddy because she was just taught that she doesn't have permission to go against her husband. So even if your daddy was wrong, your mama pipes up and it's like, no, you have to adjust. You can't talk to him like that. Da 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 da. He's the man of this house. He pays bills. So I'm hearing a stepdaddy for some of you. I'm hearing stepdaddy, some issues with the stepdaddy. Stepdaddy. I'm hearing some issues with the stepdaddy. So that's something to meditate and reevaluate on, to see how that hits even more specifically for you, and unpack it so you can figure out how to release it. But all of this is being said that is going forth, and whereas the anxiety is heightened and some of you are experiencing a lot of confusion, like, what am I not doing right? What am I not getting? Why am I not getting it? Why can't I seem to get on the good foot? And friendship frequency. So many of you get into this space where you either rush into relationships off of being, one, emotionally driven, and for some of you, codependent. And like I said, those poor examples. And so you move in quick. You automatically label it as a relationship quick. You start doing over-giving things for your mate too soon, like doing wifely and husband duties way too soon, paying bills for them, like I said, moving in together, giving them large sums of money, just doing a whole lot too soon. And in the midst, you put so much into the relationship that you don't have anything to give to your friendships. And on top of that, you have distorted and drowned out the friendship frequency of the person that you're trying to have a relationship with. Y'all have to have a friendship first. There has to be some type of friendly bond there first. Even if, and here I'm getting into kind of speaking from experience, even if the person you're involved with or going through this weird energy with is your twin flame, or the person that you are divinely meant to be with, or they're part of your soul family, you still have to go through the steps of building that friendship bond and allowing it to flow organically, because the friendship bond is the root chakra of y'all's relationship. So sometimes spirit will take y'all through things and your human self will take over and try to rush it and try to force it to be what it's not yet evolved to be. And the divine realm will have to come in and be like, no, see, this is why you shouldn't have rushed this. This is why you should have listened to us and take the steps and da 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 da. And they will put y'all, well, honestly, y'all will mindlessly put yourselves in a position to where y'all have to separate and get it together and then come back. And sometimes when you rush those connections, especially the divine ones, when you rush those connections, y'all end up creating bad karma in the process. So it can cause a setback in cycles to where it may prolong y'all to not being able to come together the way y'all were initially supposed to come together in this lifetime. Y'all could have built up so much bad karma in the midst of the skipping steps and rushing in of it all, because when you rush in like that and you don't allow yourselves to evolve organically, and in turn you don't allow the relationship to evolve organically, both of you end up doing a bunch of toxic shit, or one does a bunch of toxic shit and the other does their toxic thing by enabling the toxic shit. And depending on where you all's generational karma was in the first place, going through those toxic cycles in that way and essentially having to learn the hard way, and the decisions that you make in the process as your own individual human self can cause y'all to build up bad karma that can reset y'all drastically, not just a couple of months, not just a couple of years, but a whole lifetime, to where one or both of you may end up gashing wounds that you already had and creating even more wounds, to where one or both of you no longer has the capacity to even give energy to that connection. And honestly, it would be a situation where, what the fuck do I look like going back to somebody that did all of this toxic, unacceptable shit to me? And so it's like the divine realm will agree and be like, okay, well, I guess I'll see you next lifetime. And I don't mean to laugh in mockery. I just feel like the divine realm is funny, the way that messages and stuff be coming through. And specifically the way they be coming through me. And I guess that's also because my Lilith is in Leo. I also have Leo and Lilith, like I stated before. And that is supreme jokester energy. So I can literally make a joke out of anything. And that's a part of what the Leos as a collective are also learning for the month of May. But before we get into that, let me finish up on this 9 of Wands and all of this relationship stuff, okay? So yeah, if you're still a bit clouded on how the messages that I just stated specifically resonate to you, the coloration of the card for the 9 of Wands is by no mistake, because as a collective, Leos need to meditate more, need to commit more of a consistent regimen to meditating, because half of the Leos, all of the Leos honestly, but half of the Leos are really struggling with the major hits that Leos, specifically millennial Leos, have taken throughout their life and throughout the past couple of years since like 2018. Like a lot of Leos since like 2018, and honestly for some I'm hearing since 2016. It's been a lot of, you've been feeling like you've been getting a lot of mixed messages from the universe and from yourself. It's like ever since 2016, you've been getting good money, good opportunities, meeting some really good people, but it seems like sand slipping through your hands. Like everything you touched, it came gold and it left tarnished. Like that's how it's coming up ever since like 2016, 2018, up until maybe 2022 for some of y'all, 2019 for some of y'all, 2020, 2021 for some of y'all, and for some of y'all the pressure ain't let up until 2023. For some of y'all the pressure ain't let up until a couple of months ago. For some of y'all the pressure is still on. And as a collective, even for those of you that feel like the pressure is still on, the thing is very mental. It has a lot to do with mentality. For some, you still got parts of your mentality attached to the past and attached to what you feel like you lost and attached to what you feel like two different forms of loss, okay? So for some of you, you feel like you lost things, you lost opportunities. For some of you, you feel like you lost battles, you lost wars. And for some of you, that's true, that's valid. But just because you lost then doesn't mean you're gonna keep losing. You lost so that you can learn better tactics and more tactics to win, and how to always be a winner regardless of what is going on. And for those of you that feel like the pressure is still on, it's a mental thing, because somewhere in your mind you have a lot of false senses of positive words. So false senses of confidence, false senses of intelligence, false senses of wisdom. And a lot of that is coming from this intense need and desire to always be in control. So I'm picking up a lot of earth signs that have strong Leo placements. I'm sorry, but I'm picking up a lot of earth signs that have strong Leo placements. And so it's causing this internal war where your higher self is longing and trying its best to strive for change and evolution and do some different shit to get in some different energy. But the earth sign part of you is like, no, I hate change. No, I gotta win. No, I gotta be right. No, I gotta prove a point. No, I gotta state my case. And it's like you're giving your energy to the wrong shit and it's just draining you. And for some of you that are in that category, you feel like and or is somebody playing with your energy, whether mindlessly or mindfully, whether through being mindlessly gifted and sending an evil eye on your name and on you in general, or somebody who's actually a wizard, warlock, witchy type of individual doing things, playing on your energy. And you are helping them without even realizing it by constantly giving them thought, by constantly giving them your feelings, by constantly going back and forth with them, arguing with them, feeling like you got to state your case, by constantly talking about them on social media or talking about them to your friends. Now, granted, definitely express yourself, but it's coming a time, and for a lot of you, the time has already passed for you to stonewall whatever that situation is and whoever that person is. Just stonewall the shit out of them in every form of way for a specific period of time. For some of you, I'm hearing 3 months. For some of you, I'm hearing 2 weeks. Say absolutely nothing to or about them. Do your best to occupy your mind and your time with something else to keep your mind off of them. And like I said, for some of you, I'm hearing 2 weeks. For some of you, I'm hearing 3 months. For some of you, I'm hearing a month. It's going to resonate differently. That's why y'all need to meditate. But that time is going to create a manifestive cord breaking, even if you don't do an active cord breaking. And Spirit is saying right now, you don't need to do the active cord breaking. You need to give absolutely no energy to them or the situation. You need to make a mindful effort and an active effort to give absolutely no energy to that person or situation. And that's going to help your higher self and your divine realm break some cords effortlessly. And then when that time span has let up, then it will be appropriate for you to do an active cord breaking, or get your personal practitioner to do you a cord breaking or whatever, and it'll make that cord breaking much more potent. But first, you have to get on that frequency with yourself first by stonewalling the situation in order to basically, it's like you're spiritually signing a contract, an agreement with your divine realm that, look, hey, I am ready to be over this situation. I am ready to do some new things and to evolve into a new and get into this new cycle that I keep hearing and keep seeing and keep knowing is promised for me. So start meditating more consistently. Also start going out. Leos, a lot of Leos are social butterflies and introverted AF simultaneously, all at the same time. And after being hurt so much, Leos become very recluse and very limited with how much they give to people and how close they allow people to get to them. Like, become very hyper choosy about the people that they let around them and the people that they let themselves around. And Spirit is saying, look, we got some divine associates, acquaintances set up for you. Just allow yourself to go out and mingle and focus on having a good time, and you will know and recognize these people when they come across you or you come across them. Just have faith that your divine realm is acting as a magic carpet for you, and allow yourself to have fun. Allow yourself to not take yourself too seriously, because that's another thing, Leos. do not take themselves super serious. So if you are Leo or got Leo in your chart and you find yourself taking yourself super seriously, it's something to be reevaluated and meditated on. Gotta get that balance. Gotta get that balance. So definitely start implementing those things. And child, to expand on further messages, we are going to go ahead and start getting into these other cards, which will give us more indication on the major life lessons. So we already know about the frequency of friendship and also getting into our authentic senses of our higher quality. So that's about to be expanded upon greatly. So number one, don't fucking force it. On the other side of that card, it says allow that shit to come to you. So Leos effortlessly have a energy that is somewhat like Gemini and also somewhat like Scorpio in a lot of ways. And that is where the feminine and masculine energy is effortlessly present and balanced on some shit. Howsoever, because of the way society is, insecure, unevolved Leos tend to use masculine energy to cloak, and a lot of the times that becomes toxic masculine energy. So it can show up in untamed anger, or it can show up in the form of being a workaholic, or it can show up in the form of being overly pursuing. So always feeling like you have to take action or respond to every little thing. And all of those responses indicate a lack mentality and also indicate that you are trying to force situations. And this can stem from ego, from wanting to be in control of everything and wanting to be right about everything, and coming from a place of paranoia, which means that you're operating on a frequency of fear amongst that frequency of lack mentality. So that is also why you all, or us, have had so many instances of and cycles of getting things, getting opportunities and certain relationships and feeling like it just slips through our hands, like it just comes and goes. Nothing stays for the long term. Many things have come and have been short-lived, abundantly felt and cherished, yet short-lived. And some Leos, and this is about to segue us into the Moon Oracle cards, but for some Leos, you've been in long-term situations that are healthy and divine for you and are on the right path with the right person. You're at the right job. You're doing the right career. This, that, and the third. But you're not really feeling it. You got all these fears coming up. It's going back to that, the closer I get to you, the more fearful I become. Because you're still thinking like, as soon as I get attached to it, as soon as I let myself really get comfortable here, I'ma lose it. You're thinking like that because you're used to that being how it is, and you haven't allowed yourself to really embrace what you have and have had for so long, and you're blocking your blessings. Like, it's definitely totally understandable of how you've gotten to that point, but Spirit is saying, hey, you are not making the best out of what you've made for yourself and what you've accomplished. And even for some of you that feel like you just had a string of failures, you're not allowing yourself to acknowledge that, one, you're not as worse off as you were before, and two, clearly you have some sort of support and some sort of resources that you can make work, and you're so busy beating yourself up and dwelling on your failures and all of that, that you're not allowing yourself to really make the best or the most of your situation. And Spirit is saying, look, put your big girl, big boy, big day panties on, breeches, whatever, what have you. Put them on. Accept responsibility and accountability for where you brought yourself, for the good and the bad, And let's move and get these blessings, okay? So they instantly just brought, go get it, go get it, go get your blessings by Mary Mary. It done brought that song to mind. So some of y'all may want to go listen to that. Some of y'all may want to give that a listen, and in general, listen to some music that is upbeat or just calming, or that has overall positive affirmations. It doesn't have to be gospel. It can be win. Fuck everything else. Win. That's my motivation song, along with a string of Drake songs like I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to you know what I'm saying? You know, whatever your, I like to call it, athlete in the locker room before the game music. Athletes get themselves geared up and ready and in the zone to win, to focus on winning before they go out on the court, on the field, on the diamond, or whatever, what have you. So definitely get you a motivational playlist. If you already have one, put it in rotation. If you don't have one, it's time to make one, because that is going to contribute heavily to raising your frequency of confidence and raising your frequency of passion and ambition and going after what you want in the right ways, which means having times and places where you pursue and times and places where you allow yourself to be pursued, and not just by people, but also opportunities. So go out and let some people approach you, right? Amongst other things. Nah, this is segueing us perfectly into our first Moonology card. Bring love into the situation. And this is a new moon in Aquarius. So some of you have Aquarius in your chart, like I do, and for some of you, you just need to tap into some Aquarius energy. So you may not have Aquarius in your chart, but you just need to find a way to access the energy. And for some of you, your way of kind of accessing and embracing the energy is God is surrounding you by Aquariuses, or people who at least have Aquarius risings or Aquarius moons. And the energy of Aquarius that you need is knowing the time and place to speak and the time and place to listen, as well as having a unconditional, elastic heart. Most evolved Aquariuses give freely, give generously, and they don't concern themselves with necessarily getting it back in return, and they don't concern themselves with getting hurt or losing anything in the process, because they do a pretty good job of just allowing themselves to be themselves when they are evolved. And even many of the unevolved ones do a pretty good job of it. And that's honestly a commonality with Leo. Leo, on the other hand, takes losses very personal. Leos take losses very personal. And the evolved Leo can shake it off and just try again and keep, you know what I'm saying, going after it. And like I said, even that can sometimes, when it's excessive and obsessive, it can put you on the frequency of toxic masculine energy, because you got to know when to pull back and allow some things to come to you. But on another hand, it's just overall a need to be reminded of who the fuck you are by being reminded of who you were before you experienced so much trauma and so many losses and so many hardships. Because many of you have channeled the losses with the internalization that it is something wrong with you. And Spirit is saying, no, it's not that you are tainted or cursed. It's just you have to go through some growing pains sometimes in order to learn how you can be better. And it's gonna sound cliche, but one of the best ways, and low-key haki, kind of one of the only ways to trump hate and spite and vengefulness and all that wounded energy, is to bring love into the situation and give love, because putting that energy out into the world is going to inevitably come back to you. And you just have to open yourself up to receiving it by putting more focus into generating love and being about happiness and having fun, you know, as opposed to just trying to get your lick back all the time. Because that's where a lot of y'all are kind of getting stagnant and repetitive cycles, because you're focused on getting your lick back, or too focused on licking your wounds and cloaking it with these false senses of confidence and false senses of standing your ground and such. So let's segue on into the new moon in Leo card. That's by no mistake. Confidence is the key to success. So many of us have been learning true senses of confidence, and that's definitely, like I said, the lessons from May, learning the true senses of words, the true sense of confidence. Okay, so the best way to do that here is risk taking and going all out. So operating in a fool like energy, not the fool in reverse, child. Don't be foolish, but get into that fool energy of leaping, taking leaps of faith, acting on your needs and desires, okay? And allowing yourself to make mistakes, allowing yourself to look a little stupid, allowing yourself to look lost and look weak sometimes, because that's where you're really going to find your strength. And for some of you, that may sound crazy and completely out of character, but the only way you're really going to see the benefit in it is if you do it, because right now what you've been doing has not been working. So really meditate on your solar plexus and your sacral chakra, as well as your root chakra, child. Really meditate on those things. Do research on your solar plexus chakra. Do research on the true authentic senses of confidence, happiness, and fun, and also sexuality and things of those natures. Do your research on those things. Also, dance. Like I said, make your confident, motivational, fun, happy playlist. Allow yourself to indulge a bit and see who you really are when you're under the influence. Pay more closer attention to who you are, the things that you do, the way you react when you're under the influence, because these will give you more indications about yourself and who you truly are in more ways than one. And this is not to say that your sober self isn't who you really are, but your sober self will suppress certain things a lot more than your under the influence self. Now, okay, protect yourself at all times and be safe about it. But that's the spirit is saying, allow yourself to indulge and allow yourself to pay close attention and embrace who you are when you're under the influence. And even if you make some mistakes or do some things that are embarrassing, just take it on the chin, child. Take it on the chin, learn from it, and figure out how you can be better going forth. And all of this is going to help you detach in a healthy way. It's going to help you detach from your primitive nature where it does not serve you. It's going to help you detach from people who do not serve you. It's going to help you detach from habits that do not serve you. It's going to help you detach from other people's thoughts and opinions, and also help you detach from your inner critic and get you more in tune with your inner lover. And all of that is meant to help you get into the greatest days of your life in an authentic sense, and help you prolong the greatest days of your life. Turn your life into a longevity of happiness and celebration, okay? And that doesn't mean that everything will be perfect, but it means that you will have a greater, more potent sense of love and happiness as well as money, okay? Because one of the Leo birthstones is also peridot as well as jade, and those come in the colors of green predominantly, and all that. So Leo is associated with the sacral and solar plexus chakra, but Leo is also associated with the heart chakra. So understand that all of these things are also getting us more potent in our heart space also, which will help us have a great balance and duality of heart matters and money matters. So that means that many of us are destined for being able to have it all. A good work, life, relationship, and career balance. Getting money and having love all at the same time. Now, earlier I brought up how some people can set back their twin flame union and reunion. So, for some of you, I'm not gonna lie, you kind of gonna have to take the L in this lifetime, and that's a part of the lessons from May, as well as the lessons in general of this lifetime. And that's that you can do bad all by yourself, and you can do great all by yourself, and that you need to learn how to do greater all by yourself. So I'm not gonna lie, some of the Leos are meant to be single for the rest of this lifetime. And that doesn't mean that you won't date. That doesn't mean that you won't have plentiful, dating partners, friendships, experiences in life, or any of that. It doesn't mean that you go down in value. It actually means the opposite for those of you. And everybody, in this group, none of what's been said means that your value is depleted or will deplete. The lesson is about establishing and learning your value, like I said earlier, regardless of what's going on, who's around, or anything of that nature. Having a solid sense of self. And for those of you that are in that single forever, if you will, category, I'm not gonna lie, a part of it is karmic, but don't think of it as a punishment system. It's just something that has to happen so that when you come back in your next lifetimes, you're gonna have a much easier life and a much happier life because of it. And even the rest of this lifetime is subject to be much happier than the other half of your lifetime. And it's because you will be choosing yourself. All of us will be choosing ourselves, but you will just be choosing yourself in a different way. And like I said, for many of you, that's going to hit different right now. But putting forth the work and embracing the lessons that have been coming through and that will come through, you're going to experience for yourself the greatest benefit of the single life. And like I said, that's no slight to people who will unite with their twin flame in this relationship. It's no slight either way. It's just things that are ready to happen, things that are meant to happen one way or another. And for others of you that fall in the category of currently being separated for your twin flame, if you so happen to get so potent in your healing process, if you will, or your rejuvenation process, your individuality process, and all of that, the divine realm is saying that some of you have what you call that? Like a backup twin flame. Like that's how it's coming up to me. Some of y'all have a backup twin flame that, if you're able to jump a few cycles from just getting so good, and which that's a thing about Leo. Leo is really good at catching on to things quick and advancing very quickly. So that's why this is coming up here, because that's a Leo trait, advancing very quickly. So it is a chance that some of you could be separated from your twin flame right now. And or the twin flame that you're separated from, and you thought that was the end all be all. Spirit is like, nah, we was gonna get it to them because, you was going down one path. But since that's like, it's too tainted now, and you seem to be doing great, you done jumped these cycles. Hey, let's go ahead and pull a buddy out the back and send him on over there to you, and let's see what y'all do with each other. And so it's a whole lot that I could continue to say, but like I said, there's a lot of meditation that needs to happen on each individual level. And so Spirit is directing me to only say what's being said and what I'm saying. And many of us gonna, have to do that meditation in order to speak directly to our specific divine realms, because it's specific things that they want to say to us and show to us, and they want us to know specifically that it's coming from them and through you individually, beyond the shadow of a doubt. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay. And with all of that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and segue into the bonus card from the Earth Warrior deck. Totemic Puma Power Awakening. Now, look at how similar it looks to the New Moon and Leo card. And the cats low-key, high-key look almost identical, with the exception of a few features and the fact that the lion has a mane. Okay, so yeah. Now on this card, see, you got a butterfly and those pretty flowers, an abundance of yellow, reddish coloration, and orange. And we got the puma. Child. So yes, like I said, this definitely reaffirms and confirms much of what I've been saying about May's life lessons being heavily associated with confidence and authentic senses of power, authentic senses of love, and just heightening our friendship of everything. And it's major life lessons surrounding, like, yeah, Leo, you can do it alone, but it's not meant for you to do it alone. Big cats can be independent, but boy, the abundance they bring when they are in a unit with each other, supporting each other, when they are a whole pride, when they are a whole village. So that's why the codependent frequency has to be cleared up, so that we can get balance of independence and unity. Okay, so many of us are having to gain the understanding that unity does not mean codependence. So separating the two, again, getting into authentic senses of the word. Now we have the number 3 here. So the number 3 is definitely indicating that we are on the right path. Whether you feel like you're doing good or bad, you're on the right path. And if you use and embrace the lessons that are coming along with letting yourself have fun and not taking yourself too seriously, not letting yourself get too swept away with your inner critic and all of that, you're going to make the best out of everything. Like, Leos are great at transmuting situations, turning negatives into positives, capitalizing, okay? Capitalizing in divine ways. And that is exactly the path that we are on, endlessly, okay? And so, boy, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, child. I'm gonna go ahead and do a love version of this read, because there's so much stuff concerning relationships and love coming up in this reading, and it's definitely surrounding, you know, the major life lessons of May for Leo. So it's definitely concerning so much with relationships, but that's why the divine realm is directing us to strengthen our relationships with ourselves. So also, if you have been dealing with a cancer, you have a cancer that is very prominent in your life, or has been very prominent in your life, whether good or bad, or you have cancer in your chart, you might want to give the cancer reading a look-see as well. And this will just help give you more insight on circumstances, situations, and everything that's been going on, specifically in this month of May, because Leos have a lot of lessons and things coming up concerning relationships throughout this month of May. And it seems like these lessons are carrying over into other cycles and seasons of our lives. Spirit is preparing us for some major things, and it's really good things. It's really for us to be able to treat the greatness that's coming into our life with respect and with love and without fear and without hubris, which is a toxic sense of pride. They want us to respect the blessings that we're destined for and that we are about to come into. So there's definitely a purpose of everything that is coming up, and I'm going to give y'all some insight from the book on this card. And for the bonus content that is within the book, I'm really just going to read it off and touch on it briefly, because like I said, it is for each individual to meditate. Like, that's a heavy message here. Like, ordinarily I would really go in depth on like all the different messages on this card, but a heavy message in this reading overall is meditate, and heightening the frequency of our third eye. Okay, so that's why I'm kind of more so dropping nuggets, because that is what Spirit is directing me to do. Because a lot of you have to heighten your spiritual gifts. All of us, we have to heighten our spiritual gifts, and there are specific things that the divine realm wants us to know individually and uniquely to apply to our each individual and unique path. So without further ado, gonna go ahead and get into the book contents concerning this card. All right, number 3, Totemic Puma, Power Awakening. I am Puma. I awaken within you the vigorous energy, fierce power, and ability to act without hesitation when the moment is right. When the moment is right. My patience and strategy, my preparation and precision, my fearlessness and decisiveness are now your own. Allow my sacred medicine to fill your soul and bring your courage to your heart. You have come into your power. And with that being said, y'all, definitely do research on the animal totem Puma. Do your research on that spirit animal and figure out how it applies to you and how you can make the most of it. And this is why I said take a screenshot of the card, and you may also want to take a screenshot of this, because these are all things that, one, you can, and also Spirit is directing me to influence y'all to use in your meditation. So you can start your morning with this. Use it in your meditations, like I said, day or night, when you wake up or before you go to sleep, or in the middle of the day if you just need a boost off, child. Use these things as affirmations and reminders, and like I said, meditation tools. Also, the Earth Warrior is representative of certain guardian angels that work with you. So ancestral presences, spirit guide presences, and literally, like I said, it's Earth Warrior presences that literally fight for you in the divine realm. So do your research on different spiritual beings and deities and things of that nature that are associated with cats, big cats in general, and or specifically pumas. Okay, all right, in a reading, you've got this. Don't let fear or hesitation hold you back. Apply yourself fully to the task. Let go of old ways of viewing yourself as incapable, scattered, or wasteful of energy. Child, what I say about detaching from that inner critic, okay? What I say about a lot of things throughout this reading, okay? Reaffirming and confirming. Shout out to God, okay? Shout out to God. Aicha. You have the ability to focus intently, to generate clear intention, and to achieve your ambitions through methodical steps and applied will. Applied will. You have the internal resources you need for successful completion. Even if no one else recognizes your potential and believes in your future success, in due course, they will understand differently. By then, you will already be moving on to your next task. Trust your sense of timing. Have patience. When you know it is the time to leap, do it without hesitation. And that is that fool energy that I was talking about. When you know it is time to leap, do it without hesitation. And I'm saying that that's fool energy, but that is also the way of a cat. When cats are hunting, when they are preying on a particular goal or a particular being that they need for a source of energy or a resource, they sit there, they have the patience, they stalk it, they stare it down, they get real comfortable in their space, and then when they know or feel like it is the time, they leap toward it without hesitation. So not only is it fool energy, but it is also cat energy. And a specific deity that has come up is Bastet, and by way of Bastet coming up, Sekhmet and Hathor also come up. So there you are, some clues on some deities for you to research as well. Okay. And the top part of this page is a continuation of what I was just reading from. With your certainty, I find my own conviction renewed. It is not a question of if, but a question of when. My spiritual attainment is inevitable, so be it. Inevitable, so be it. Okay? Now, this is about to get into the part that will really come in handy in the midst of your meditations, especially when it comes to starting your days. Okay, so read through this simple visualization slowly as you feel the energy in the description. Golden fur shimmering copper in the sunlight, heat pulsing beneath the skin. As waves of contained energy are ready to be channeled in clean action at the right moment, lean and powerful muscle, watchful, steady gaze, no thoughts or distraction, just pure focus. The power rises within, and the moment to leap is here. Action, aliveness, this medicine, wisdom of bold aliveness without hesitation is within my own soul, and I claim it. Child, I'm gonna read that again. Golden fur shimmering copper in the sunlight, heat pulsing beneath the skin, as waves of contained energy are ready to be channeled in clean action at the right moment. Lean and powerful muscle, watchful, steady gaze, no thoughts or distraction, just pure focus. The power rises within, and the moment to leap is here. Action, aliveness, this medicine, wisdom of bold aliveness without hesitation is within my own soul, and I claim it. Now either close your eyes and relax, or get up and move your body in whatever way feels best, for as long as feel good for you. For as long as feels good for you. For you. Feels good for you. You have completed the healing process. Now, that's what's on the paper. Of course, I said the instead of your, but of course, some of your healing processes may continue, but just renew and go about in a different way. So this month of May will also be about learning different ways of healing, learning different ways of showing love, and learning different ways of receiving love. And by all means, like I said, take your screenshots, but also take your screen recordings if you need or would like the sound of my voice reading off the affirmations and the visualizations of it all. And feel free to use my voice in the midst of your meditation. I've been told that I have a soothing, serene, meditation-esque voice. So feel free to use it in the midst of your meditations and all of that. And child, with all of that being said, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this cow dry. And I'm thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quotas for the next time. And be sure to bless my comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you all light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.